Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. In this video, I'm going to be discussing on tips for becoming a more successful Uber driver. Uber, Caviar, DoorDash, Postmates, whatever the case may be, whichever gig you may be working, even Instacart. These are all tips and tricks that you can use to your advantage to make your experience working on the platform and making more money, as well as just becoming overall successful and feeling good about working on the platform. Please consider subscribing to my channel, as I will be pumping out more content on how to be successful on these delivery apps. And just to not babble on about nonsense, let's get right into it. Tip number 1, do not neglect your vehicle. When it comes to making money with gig apps, your vehicle is your heart, your soul. Never neglect your vehicle. Never let a noise go on for a long time without looking into it or fixing it altogether. Make sure you know your car as good as you know yourself. Always keep up to date with your oil changes and regular maintenance. You can save money by changing the oil yourself, but not everyone has that luxury. Have your mechanic do regular checks, or if you're mechanically inclined, like myself, do the mechanic work yourself and just look around, do some digging and researching in your own car and see what could be wrong. See if any bushings are worn out or any belts are cracked. Maybe if your car is making a noise, look into the noise, see where the noise is coming from. You know, anything like that. It's always good to know what's going on with your car. Tip number 2, use gas apps to save money on gas. There's a bunch of apps that I've used in the past. One app that I feel comfortable mentioning is Gas Buddy, because with Gas Buddy you can just go on the app and it tells you a gas station nearby that has low prices on gas. You can get a credit card and they give you points depending on where you get your credit card from. Me personally, I like to use the mobile app. With the mobile app, I can just pull up to the gas station. I don't even have to get out of my car to make the payment. I can just make the payment through my phone and I receive points depending on how much gas I purchased throughout the month. In my experience from using the mobile app, you get about $20 back for about $2,000 that you spend. It's not really that much of a crazy big return, but it was a $20 that I didn't have prior to those $2,000 that I spent on gas that nobody was giving me before. So to receive $20 for something that I wasn't getting before, it's a pretty good incentive. Tip number 3 is take advantage of promotions. You see, in my case, I didn't work for Uber Eats for about 1 week. And in that 1 week that I didn't work, when I came back, they gave me a promotion that said complete 25 deliveries and receive $125 within this time frame. I think it was about 2 days or so, and I completed it within 1 day. It was a pretty good reason to get up out there and start working Uber Eats, because they weren't giving that promotion before when I didn't work the week prior. But after not working for a week, they started giving those out. For me, I didn't see it on anybody else's apps, so I can see that they changed the promotions depending on the driver and depending on how much they really want them to work, I'm guessing, because somebody else didn't have it on their app, but I had it on mine. So promotions is a very good thing to take advantage of. Tip number 4, work during busier hours. I know you might have heard this a lot, work during busier hours so you can make more money during the busier times, but sometimes that's hard to determine depending on what area you're in or what area you want to work in. Like for example, where I live in New York, I've seen that business starts to pick up around 6 to 7 o'clock in the morning, and it starts to die around 12 to 2 p.m. depending. Some days are different. And it continues to stay slow till about around 4 to 6 p.m. and that's when business starts to re-pick back up. I'm thinking usually that's because people are just getting back home from work, and sometimes people don't want to leave the house again to get their food, so they're probably going to order takeout. And that's where you come in, or me, or anybody else. For the most part, that's how I've seen it work. And that leads me to tip number 5. Take advantage when it is busy. We all know some days are busier than others, and usually the days that you don't want to work are the days that other people don't want to work. Such as when it rains, or if it's very hot and sunny that day and the UV rays are crazy. You sit around waiting for a nice day, and when that nice day comes and you go out to work and you see that it's very slow and there's no business, you think, man, I should have worked that day when it was busy. I've noticed when it starts getting close to the end of the month, that's when business slows down because people have bills due, such as rent. Tip number 6, be patient. Be patient with some orders. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I get frustrated at some orders, and I'm definitely guilty of canceling an order midway through the call because I don't want to wait for the order because they've been giving me ambiguous responses and the order has been ready. But if you really think about it, if you cancel that call and you have to sit around waiting for another call, let's say you're sitting around for half an hour and then you receive a call that's $1 less than the call you were just doing, you just wasted your time and you just lost money. So you basically lost double the amount of money that you would have gotten if you just stayed doing that call. So I've realized it's better to just deal with the frustration sometimes and wait on that call, receive the order, and get on with your day. Granted, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes it's really frustrating and you really don't want to wait for that order, but I gotta say, money's waiting for you, my friend, and there's always light at the end of the road. Tip number 7, track and minimize your expenses and try to eliminate anything that's taking away from your profit margin. I've had days where I'm hungry and I'm in the mood for a nice extra chicken quesadilla with a nice multivitamin packed smoothie from my favorite smoothie spot. That meal is going to cost me about $16. Whenever I'm paying that amount, I keep in mind how long it takes me to make $16. Sometimes it could be 2 calls, sometimes it could be 3 calls. So I try to avoid spending so much on food, and I try to think about what's the best way for me to minimize my expenses. And for me, is grocery shopping. I like to buy my chicken from the grocery store, or I buy my fruits from the grocery store as well, and I'll make my smoothies at home. I'll grill my own chicken at home, and I'll make my own quesadillas. It'll be cheaper, and sometimes it even tastes better because I can put my own flavoring. Try to track and minimize any expense that you can, so you can keep a little bit more of the profit that you make on the platform, and you can possibly save a little bit. Tip number 8, don't neglect exercise. We spend almost the whole day sitting down. Majority of the time we're folded. You see, I'm no health expert, but I know that can't be good for your back in the long term. Don't forget to take some time out of the week or even out of the day to exercise. Stretch, do some jumping jacks. Bring a jump rope with you. If you bring a jump rope with you, you can always do a workout wherever you are. You can even stop by to your local park, which will be a good idea also, because a lot of parks nowadays have specifically designed calisthenics areas, or even just taking a walk can help too. I've learned the better I feel health-wise, the better I work wealth-wise, if you get my drift. Tip number 9, I recommend using a phone mount. Phone mounts always help out. They come in all different configurations. You can get some that are magnetic, some that kind of have like a snap configuration. I personally like the one that has like a snap configuration because it just feels more secure. I put my phone on my mount and it has little arms that grip onto the side of it. Very convenient. Tip number 10, try to use your device hands-free as much as possible. If it's your first time working gig apps, you'll notice that you'll go through a lot of multitasking. Using a wireless pair of headphones or simply talking to your phone can help a great deal. In my case, I like to use Siri. I like to use Siri to call the customer's phone. Sometimes on the app, it'll have the phone number on there, but it won't be highlighted. I can't tap on it, so I have to hit the side button so I can tell Siri, dial such and such number, so I can be able to contact the customer without having to actually dial the number myself, because sometimes I'll be in that situation when I'm right in front of the customer's house, and it can be very hectic whenever you don't have that option available. So using the hands-free option can be very helpful. And as a bonus, I'm going to include 2 more tips because that's the kind of value that I want to be able to share with you guys. Bonus tip number 1, when it's completely dead and there are no hotspots, go to an area that you know has a lot of food restaurants. Some places have plazas where they have restaurants available, such as McDonald's, Chipotle. Even going to your nearest mall can help you out too. I've noticed a lot of times whenever it's completely dead and I go nearby a mall, I'll be able to get a call within a few minutes of me arriving next to a mall. Not every time, but sometimes I can get that lucky. So whenever it's completely dead and you're not getting any calls, your best bet is to go to an area that has a lot of restaurants around there and just sit around, hang around. Eventually you'll get something, I'm sure of it. Bonus tip number 2, sometimes a small call is better than no call. You see, if I've been sitting around for half an hour to an hour doing nothing, receiving no calls, and out of nowhere I receive a $4 call, I'm definitely going to take that $4 call because I do not want to be sitting around for another half hour to an hour waiting on who knows when I'm going to receive another call. So your best bet, if you haven't been getting any calls and you get one that is small, you might as well do it. If you guys enjoy the video, please consider hitting the subscribe button, as I have plenty of more tips on how to become a successful gig worker. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next video.